محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله. إخواني وأخواتي في الإسلام أحييكم بتحياتنا المباركة قائلا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask His blessing on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household companions and all Muslims. Inshallah, our topic of today is on pictures in Islam. For some of us, we have had a lot, and what I'm very sure many of you, especially those of you that you are literate, you can read like you are in schools. Majority of what you have heard is that picture is haram. It's not something you should do. And if you want to be a stronger Sunnah wal Jama'ah, you must not take picture, not of any kind. Even passport is just managed. If you are doing a car, you should not take the picture. And if somebody wants to rule between somebody who is Ahlul Sunnah and somebody who is not Ahlul Sunnah, the first thing you wait to, if you go and check your WhatsApp, if you see your picture on WhatsApp, it will tell you that you have not become Ahlul Sunnah because you are using your picture as DP. Why are you using picture as DP? Who are you? Like one day I want to chat with somebody. He's one of those people that they call Jabata boys. He now said that I cannot chat me except I remove my picture first. That if I don't remove that, the DP I'm using, that is not going to chat me. I love belly food. Because I was just wondering that. So in this modern world, some people are still in ignorance and extremism. How will you say such? Even when, if you want to use the view of the Jumhur on, because it's only the head that you are seeing there, you are not seeing the other body. The view of the Jumhur is that when you see the head alone, you not see the other part of the body. It is permissible. You do not even know that, because the person could not be blamed. What he has had in his life is, whenever you hear anything picture, it is haram in Islam. And even many of you too here, that is what you think, because that's what you always see on what's it called, on WhatsApp. If you open it now, Google, that's your nearest teacher as a student. When you open that, what you have seen is Islamic QA. They say that picture is haram. You can't be, except you want to take passport, you want to travel out. Islam is not like that. You need to understand what have Islam said. Pictures are in categories. So that is why the word pictures or picture, I may not use at the beginning because of some reasons I want to explain. Another thing is that I will advise that you listen strongly, because many of you are youth, and the time will come in future. I pray, and what I intended for all of you is that a great time in future you become a great ambassador for Islam. That is when you realize how beneficial Islam has been to us. That is one. Secondly is that I will advise also that you should always read. You should always what? Read beyond what you are nurtured with at home or what you hear before. Read very well. Read out of your scope. Read books a lot. When you do that, it will really help you, and you have a very wide understanding about Islam, and your thinking will not be myopic. So that's one of those things I'm going to say. Now, we want to look at what is the Islam use general word for, or let me say the Arab. The general word for this for something that is picture or image is at-taswir. What do we call it? At-taswir. At-taswir, and the plural is what? At-tasawir. Like what the lecture we are giving now is at-tasawir fil Islam. If you say pictures, but if you just want to say picture, that's what taswir. Now, what is the first thing is, what's the meaning of taswir? That's what taswir. For those who have done sorry, you see that taswir is a what? A masdar, abi? or for a thing that is what rubain, must it be what? Be arifin. You see that there's tadhim there. So it's from what? Sawwara. Yusawwiru. Taswiran. Musawwiru. Musawwaran. Sawwir la what? To sawwir. Which means sawwara. Form something. Make a shape of something. Make image of something. Give something a shape. So that is the meaning of sawwara. And Allah is one of the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, Huwa Allah al-Khaliqu al-Bari'u al-what? Al-Musawwir Lawul Asmaul Husna. That Allah is al-Khaliq, the creator, al-Bari'u, the inventor, who makes something to happen. Al-Musawwir, the fashioner, who gives something shape. Allah in another verse, Allah said, Wasawwarakum fa ahsana suwarakum. It is Allah that give shape you well. For ahsana suwarakum, it make your shape to be good. Some scholars say make your shape to be the best of shape among all shapes that exist in the world. That is why human being, we are the best. Do we get now? So Allah in another verse, Allah said, what lets you so widukum fil arham is the one that shape you in the womb of your mother. The way you will understand this is, if you have, I saw a child, ọmọ ẹ bọ́ ṣe bí ẹ ní fi ojú ẹ lè tètè dá ojú ẹ mọ̀, ó ní ojú ẹ dàbí ojú tiger. Wàláì ẹ mọ̀ reason, gbogbo ojú ẹ táwọn rí báyìí, irun ló wà ń bẹ̀, ó dẹ̀ bá àwọn yòókù ẹ ṣeré. Mo ní ṣé tẹ̀ ń bá wà kékeré mo lè bọ́ ọmọdé ṣeré báyìí, màá sá lọ ni. But they are used to it, because that's when you understand what Allah is saying, that who are lazy, so we don't feel arham kaifa yasha, bó ṣe wù wọ́n lọ́hùn. It will make some people to have hair, but that year ó kọ̀ máa ní lásán ni, kò ní fi gbọ́ anything. Etí ẹ̀ bí etí ìwọ náà ni, gbogbo part of and component tó yẹ kétí ẹ̀ ní etí tòun náà ni, ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run kò fún láṣẹ pé kún fàyà kún kó máa gbọ́ràn ni. Gbọ́sọ̀ olú ni òun lòun ṣe bó ṣe wù òun Ọlọ́run ọba. Do we get now? Allah said, La ilaha illa huwal azizul hakim. So that is that. Now, in some verses too, Allah said, okay, let me use that because of time. Also in the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet used some word where he used sawwara, form something, make shape of something. In hadith, the Prophet said, Inna ulai, when Salama, Habiba, they said that when they went to Abba, they were telling the Prophet that, Anobin Batalo si Abasha, ní Ethiopia, we saw a church. Nínú church yẹn wá rí pé pictures àwọn ọgbẹ́ àwọn ère àwọn, they put the statue of their former, what's it called, their former saints inside there, and they design it with, women love things that are glittering, so they're trying to tell the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet said, he said, Inna ulaika iza kana fihim rijal aw rajulun salih, that you see those people, when you see those people like that, when it is with them rajulun salih, a man that is pious, famota, and the man that banu ala qabrihi masjidan wasawwaru fihi, they are going to create, they will build a mosque for that person, a place of worship. Wasawwaru fihi, ọmọ wa ṣe shape ẹniyẹn síbẹ̀ bí saint kinikan. You too, you always see picture of Mary now, all those things that there will be, people will be there, be crying and doing other things. He said tilika suwar faulaika, the Prophet now said that faulaika shirawul khalqi inda Allah yawm al-qiyamah, that you see those people you are seeing, they are going to be the worst of creatures on judgment day. So the Prophet said that sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In another narration, the Prophet said, according to the hadith of Ibn Mas'ud, he said, Inna ashadda an-nas azaban yawm al-qiyamah al-musawwirun. He said those that they are going to be most punished on judgment day, they will have the most severe punishments, are the words musawwirun. Musawwirun means what? Those, the image makers. The what? Image makers. So that is that. Now, another is that, and the Prophet said in another hadith sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, La tadkhulul malaikatu baytan fi kalibun wala tasawwir. That the angels are not going to enter into houses that you have kalibuns, you have dogs, wala tasawwir, and you have inside, in another narration, it said wala tamothil, which means you have statue, or let's say you have pictures in it. when we get on, you know what kind of pictures, so that we understand. And what type of angel are they even saying? Is it all the angels? These are things that many of the youth, they don't know. They don't read books. When we sit, we just analyze things. The scholars explain those things. Only who are on picture woni, and malaika woni wobe. Because even in that of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Aisha reported that the two pillows of the Prophet like this, there were picture on those pillows. The Prophet always rests on the pillows, and pictures is there. Ilé tani malaika oni wo tí ó ṣe lé Ànábì sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that is why Islam is not with emotion. Agbo yes, kò ṣe emotion ni ó fi ṣe. Tí ó bá sọ ní wakobu. Islam is not that way. Islam is dalil, and you explain, you get explanation of what the scholars have said. What type of picture are they saying? And what type of angel? Even if you ask, now see those pictures that Islam say it is this. Who are angel when you wobe? I hope you are getting what I'm saying, Sha. So we should understand that. Now in another narration, the Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Atani Jibril came to me, Faqal Ali. He said, he now told me that I came to you yesterday. Follow me and akuna dakolitu illa annahu alal babi tamathil. I could have entered, but on the door there were pictures there. Fakana fil bayti khiwamu satrin fihi tamathil, and that there was a curtain. Pictures were now on the walls, on the curtain. Kana fil bayti kalibun. Also in the house there's dog there. So he now told the Prophet something. See what he told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This will be very important in our consequent talk. He said, "Famur birasil timthal allazi fi filibaiti yukuton." That give command that head, the head of that what, the head of that picture that is on that curtain, the head should be what, cut off, or the head of that statue that is there. The head should be what? Should be removed. He said, "Fayesiru ka'ayhati shajara," so that when that head is removed, that statue or that picture will now be like a tree. Note that what I've said. That hadith of Jibril. I'll term that hadith of what? Jibril. Please let's take note of it, because I'm going to use it consequent times to bring out many rulings. Please, are we getting what I'm saying? So he now said, "Wamu bi sitri faliyukton," and that curtain that there is what picture on it, you should now say that it should be cut. Wamin fayumal minhu wisadatain. So it should be used to make what? Two pillows. You can see who is commanding the prophet. Who is commanding the prophet now? Jibril. That is Afa of prophet. You too should have Afa. If you don't have Afa, Uma daluro. They don't have respect for anybody, just abuse people. You don't have Afa. You don't have Afa, you don't read alone. Since you have Afa, I want to shake me your Quran and Sunnah. Nobody will explain Quran and Sunnah to you except the scholars. Please take note. Don't be deceived. So that's it. He said, Monzibatain, to To'an, that can be trampled upon. That can be what? That means if you have a picture of something, on theory, only theory nǹkan yẹn mọ́lẹ̀ àbí nǹkan tó yẹ pé ó wà lára nǹkan táwọn èèyàn lè gba orí ẹ̀ kọjá. That means we can take a word from it now, a ruling. I will still tell you what the scholars term such thing like that. That's why I said to To'an. Tí wọ́n lè máa gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé lórí, àwọn èèyàn lè máa kọjá àbí ọ̀tẹ̀ sílẹ̀ sí àwọn èèyàn sùn. You know, don't forget, that's what we are saying is that kí ni ẹ̀ bí kọ́tẹ̀ ní báyìí àbí now. Let me give you an example. If something is on the curtain now, or you kúrò ńbẹ̀, or wa tẹ̀ sí orí nǹkan sìn, or wa gbọ́ bẹ̀ lé lórí, àbọ̀ fi tẹ́ bed, or wa gbé baby síbẹ̀ àbí nǹkan. Prohibition tó wà ńbẹ̀ yẹn, ó ti ṣe kíni? Ó ti kúrò nìyẹn. Tó yẹ ti erect ẹ̀ mọ́. Do we get now? That is what Jibril is what? He said, "Wamur bil kalibu falyukhraj," and the dog should be what? Should be taken out of the walls of the house. So that is the hadith. Is in Abu Dawud and Tirmidhi. So one of that. In another narration, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ashadu nas azaba yawm al-qiyamah allazina yudahuna bi khaliqillah." That those that they are going to have the most severe punishment of Judgment Day are those that they are trying to what? Imitate the creation of Allah. Nǹkan tó lọ́wọ́ bá dá wọn náà fẹ́ dá. Irú àwọn ló ń sọ. Ṣé n tó mú fún ẹ̀nà tó ṣe selfish ṣé òun náà wà ń bẹ̀? Àbí ń ṣe à ń ṣe lecture sọ wáyà mi ń sìn. àbí wọ́n ṣe nìkan wọ́n ní ọwọ́ ya ń pa nú around àbó parí kí ló ń porúkọ ẹ̀ ó parí school tọ́nsìn àwọn yóò kún yàgò tó lọ sá lọ or somebody you see even some that I don't even like ọmọ yẹ gbogbo picture yẹn tó ń ló yà gbogbo ẹ o ọwọ́ lọ fi bíbà yà wá yọkó mbẹ kí lè tó ti yà tẹ́lẹ̀ tá ló ń ẹṣẹ́ as in I find it somehow tàbó máa yẹ ẹsẹ̀ oríṣiríṣi ló máa polówó fún wa ẹsẹ̀ gan fìtínà ni ó lè dorí àwọn brothers kan rú àtàwọn sisters kan yes now so why do you do that if you know there's fitna there leave it if somebody holds it today that to him a picture is haram I don't have issue with it I have reason in fact I will support your views and I have reason why I will support the view but kó wá máa dọ́gbọ́n jẹ́ ká mọ̀ bí tó dúró sí kó dúró síbẹ̀ he is not wrong now because you have scholars too that say it's haram he is not wrong I'm talking of photography we still get there but we need to explain some things and we should look at our prospect as Muslims and that is the most important but when somebody take a stand like that there's nothing wrong but when your stand will be criticized I'm going to explain it are we getting now so that is that now the next one is he said for you would only call at fajana wisadatan or wisadatan so Aisha said we make pillows of it so that is that I think I will in another narration the Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam he said inna rasulullah naha ani thamani now in another narration said the Prophet according to the hadith of Abu Juhfa he said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has forbidden thamani dami the price of blood somebody is now selling blood now it's haram in Islam don't sell blood he now said wa thamani likelibi or somebody that is selling dog ajalunta basically mutlakon on aja is haram you don't sell it you don't eat it o do we get now he say wakasbil amati and the ending of a slave girl he say wa la'ana li wasima wal mustawshima washima somebody who is doing tattoo one ko ya tattoo sí ẹ lára when do you start as a Muslim one ya tattoo bí àwọn ajá ọ̀nà ìyà tó mú kọ like tattoo mi mú ní jẹ́ kẹ́ni kankan rí ó dìgbà tí bá máa rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bí impress ọkọ mi ẹgbẹ́ ń korúgbọ ẹ̀ sí lára that's their ways of jahiliya I know what I'm saying àwọn èèyàn ṣe ṣe wàlúwàṣímọ̀ wàlúwọ̀t wàlúmùstáwòṣímọ̀ atẹ́ni tó ń wá kókó ya tattoo fóun ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ lẹ́yìn méjì ọ̀daràn ní o iná ṣe what wà áàkìlà rìbá bákan náà ànábì ṣẹ́bilé áàkìlà rìbá ẹni tó ń jẹ kíni tó ń jẹ interest ṣe wà láàánà al-musawwira and he also caused a picture maker who is the picture maker they are telling us ṣẹ́ni tó lo fóònù ẹ̀ náà ni are we getting ṣẹ́ni tó lo fọ́tò kí ló ń pè kí ni ẹ̀ camera àbó wá fídíò báyìí àbó lo drone bí àfá gabadin do we get now so àwọn olóń sọ so we get to know now that is first the second thing I want to look at is aniwa'u suwari types of images or let's say pictures or let's say let me use the word images more encompassing because so that you get me well because when we want to give ruling the first thing we look at àwọn àfà tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n wo àwọn nǹkan yẹn dáadáa that they look at those things constructively with delil they did not just give ruling on picture haram but what did they first say they will look at what type of image what is the image involved are we getting so the scholar classify those things before they give delil or before they give a verdict it's not what you are saying today anything somebody is just scattering everywhere you say come you send me link that was my business with you go and come on you are just celebrating ignorance you will learn the deen you will learn Islam you sit down they will teach you so that's it so we look at the first thing is if you are looking at the wasila is what means is that image form the first if it is hand that is being used you know if it is hand it will be two abi the first one is what it can be through what all those statue because ọwọ́ ló máa fi ṣe kí ni ọwọ́ ló máa fi mọ́ wọ́n á fi fún ní shape. So do we get now? So wọ́n máa ń pa àwọn ẹni asurọ́tú aliyadawija asurọ́tú or the second one is it can be with drawing and painting. With what? Drawing and what? And painting. That's how somebody came to me. The person is doing what's it called? No, surveying. Then I was still not able to. He now said, Ustaz, we want to leave that course he's doing. I said, why? He said, when he was in, what's the name of that? Lago front. That somebody now came to him that, she no money. You know what's now, why I was not even sad? The person was snapping trees. Trees. He said, ilé gan àwọn gítẹ́ ìmúyà ìgan manage ní inú ẹ̀sìn ṣe wápọ̀ sí mi ṣe. What's going on? So I was like, how? so the first one is handmade. So that is those as you can be drawing. The second one is machine made, that there's a machine involved. Example is photograph. Do we guess now? Ẹ mọ̀ pé camera lọ fi yà yẹn. The second one is television image, or the third one is filming, that they call asuratu as cinema iya, because it's through filming and cinema and cinematography now. So those are the one because they use it. So those things have ruling like that. The second one, if you want to, they say min aisu mutawaha, what does that image consist of? We can also use that as classification. So if one with soul, ìyẹn wọ́n pè ní mọ̀láwù ruhun, nǹkan tó pé nǹkan ẹlẹ́mìí ni, tó bá yẹ pé nǹkan ẹ̀gọ̀ngàn nǹkan ẹlẹ́mìí ni, bí a picture ajá, image ẹran, picture of humans, image of horse, all those things like that now. So they say mọ̀láwù what? Ruhun. Without soul, lẹ́lẹ́kejì ń sìn. Mọ́lá ruhalahu. Those one that did not have what? Soul. Do we get now? So those one, what is the ruling of that? That's that. The third classification, min aisu shakliya, the shape. The what? The shape. The one so those one, the first one call it what? Suratun mujassama. Suratu what? Yẹn pé bodily shaped pictures or bodily shaped what? Image. The second one was suratu musatoha. Suratu what? Musatoha. So, or let me go to the first one again. Bodily shaped image, or image that can cast shadows. You know, look at this screen. I can cast a shadow now. Human being too can cast what? Shadows. So that is those one we call mujassama, because they have body, how they can cast shadows. So musatoha, those one that they can't cast shadows, they are on flat shape. You know, those one involve what? Drawings now, I mean now. Something that is on something like this, on a flat shape like this. So majorly they are drawing or paintings or something that is engraved, I mean now. So what is, so those are the classification. So they said this one lazil lalau, they don't have any shadow they will cast. So this are now ahkamu taswir. That's the next one we want to look at is what is the ruling on image makers. Ṣé Muslim ṣó lè ya photo? Wọ́n ní àfáàyàn photographer ni ó tún ní ìgbọ̀n ó ti ṣokùtò ẹ̀fọ́ photographer. So what? Abi cameraman says this cameraman. Someone now tell is around. Why are you doing cameraman? So we need to understand it. Now, the first thing is, I will start with those that they believe that any picture, any image, we should not move near it. And the king of them, like the leader of that school of thought, is not the view of the Jumhur. The leader of that school of thought is Mujahid, rahimahullah. Mujahid is one of the students of Ibn Abbas. Do we get now? He's his former student. So we believe that even if that thing has soul or not, is living thing or not living thing, any picture is under software or not, you should what? You should say with that. Allah said, the Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the curse of Allah is on the musawwirun, those who make pictures. So what are you looking for? Pick his general, his arm. Pick anything. Don't leave it. So those are the. But the scholars out there, they are not. Those who saw you, they are not much. The second view are those that said that see their own. They are not also much. But see what they said. They said that any picture or any image is permissible for a Muslim to make. Any what? Any picture, any image. Muslim le mere, ko sere, ko ya anything. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? They said that provided that it is not the person who is doing that, the image maker is not involved in two things. What's the first thing? It's not that that thing is about something that involves shirk. Something that involves what? Shirk. And the second is that what? It should not be something that Islam have already known that this thing is haram. They now add one more, that you should not have it in mind that I want to compete with Allah in His creation. That if you don't have it, why can't you do anything you want? And they brought the evidence also. We will just tell us, you know the reason? Because when we have scholars' view on some, even if that view is not popular, we will still keep it. We will still what? Keep it. Because maybe 55 years to this time, it can be needed. See what they said. Their delete too is mutaba, but it's not the view of the majority. So it's not what we look at. One of those things they said. They said that one day that Aisha radiallahu anhu, that this we mentioned, radiallahu anha, that what did Aisha say? That one day Aisha, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came from a journey, he now saw that there's picture on this. The Prophet said it should be what? It should be cut. So when it was cut, it was used to make what? Pillows, and pictures were on that pillows. So why who now say picture is haram? So that is one. They said the second thing is that one day somebody visited Ibn Abbas. His name is Miswar. When he visited Ibn Abbas was sick. When he now go to the house of Ibn Abbas, there are these importance in Ahmad. He saw a fire burning, and there is now a picture of a bed hanging on it like this. The person now said, Ibn Abbas, this is picture of a bed now. Look at what Ibn Abbas said. Ibn Abbas said, Allah taro kaifa araknaha bin nar. Can't you see the way I'm burning it with what? With fire. So those people, when they use this delhi, they said what it means is that because those pictures in the those images like that during the time of Jahiliyyah, people worship them. But Ibn Abbas is showing that it is not necessary, but he still keep it in his house. So that's. The third one is hadith of Abu Talha. The hadith is Sahih Muslim, and he also narrated by Ibn Abi Shayba. So one of the Sahaba came to visit him. So when he got there, Abu Talha have a clothes there. So he now removed the clothes because of pictures on it. And I said, leave it now. Why? Don't you know the Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam that la yadkhulul malaikata baytan fi tasawwur illa rukman fi thawb. That and the angels will not enter into a house of where there is image except rukman fi thawb. That if it's a rukman fi thawb, that's a writing, like a writing or encryptment on the clothes. So they said, if that would be permissible, why is it wrong? Another one is the hadith of Qasim bin Muhammad. Qasim bin Muhammad is one of the prominent scholars of the Tabi'un. He's one of the scholars of Medina. In fact, at that time was the best among them. So Qasim bin Muhammad bin Abu Bakr, that he has this thing on top of his house, like a nest. So on that nest there is a beaver and a rodent shaped picture on the top. So when people see it, He said yes. So those who use that as dalil, they said because it is free from idol worshipping, that why is it not wrong? So that is that. This is so. If part of bag, you also see it there. Another one is they said that during the time of after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when people started spending coins, that many of those coins of the Persian and the Pharisee that they spend, that this thing also spend among them, that they saw writings that those coins, the pictures of those king of those people were on them, and they spend it that way. And the Sahaba spend it. The Tabi'un, the great ones among them, they also spend it. That when Marwan also strike a coin, there was picture on it. When someone also strike one, and those who strike coins consequently among the Salaf, their kings, they will picture on them and they continue to spend it till our time. That why you not say it is haram? So they said that so what we are still saying, they repeated it, that if it is free from idol worshipping, or you want to imitate Allah creatures, if it is free from it, there is nothing wrong in any image or pictures. So that is that. Another is that they now quote verse of the Quran in Surah Al-Imran, that Prophet Isa said that inni akhluqu lakum min at-tini ka'ayhati at-tayr, that me Isa, I'm going to create from tin, láti yẹ̀pẹ̀, ayhati at-tayr, a shape of a what? Of a bed. So bed yẹn máa mọ́, ó dẹ̀ mọ́ fún wọn nítòótọ́. So ó ní fa'anfuku fi what? Rule be what? Be iznillah. So they now said that, see what those who use as dalil said. They said, have you ever heard in the history of Islam that Allah will make something haram, Allah will not make a miracle to come from what is haram? Have you get what you are saying? That Allah will make something haram, miracle will not come from what is haram. That one now kan ṣe ṣìnà nígbà tó ṣe ṣìnà, bó ebi ọmọ kan ní ọmọ ìwà bílà tó tún wá jáná ní. That you never see it. That you never see it. So that if it's true, is why we say is when Allah used a mujiza with Prophet Isa like that, they did not stop there again. They quote another verse, said yes, no one allow mo yashau min tamothil, that Prophet Sulaiman too, that he made tamothil mo yasha what he wants, and the jinns made it for him. So that why is it like that? They did not stop again. They quote another prophet, and that is Prophet Daniel, that you call Daniel. Shall we know his story? You know have you heard of his story before? Oh, you don't go to okay, many of you shall not go to this. Some of those schools went when we were young. You know, all those Muslim schools, they are not much like this. When we were young, we went to Christ, so we know all those things. They throw him inside what? Fire. You know, I throw him inside this thing now. Shebi is King Nebuchadnezzar. Abina, I know it's Christmas. So they throw him inside this thing. Lions what? Lions den. And those lions were what? They did not what? They did not hurt him. You know what he now did? This story I'm quoting to you, it is Sahih. All the Muhaddithun say that this is Sahih. What did he do? Because Allah saved him from that den, he now went to make a ring. That ring, he now puts, look at how the ring is. Let me say this is the ring. On the right part, he puts an inscription of a lion on the right part. On the left part, a male lion. Inscription of another lion is now what? On the main square. The middle, now put a small boy in the middle. And one lion here, on one la lara. Instead called Geje one la lara. So that is what he put on the ring. He now put it in his hand. That thing happened a long time. When he died with the ring in his hand. Now, during the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, when the Muslims now conquered Palestine, when they were uprooting something, they come across the body, because you know that the Prophet has said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Allah has made it haram for the what? For the soil to what? To eat the body of the what? Of the prophet. Is not possible. The body of the prophet can never be eaten by the what? By the soil. So they made his body like that, and they also made the ring that way, and they saw on the ring those things I have mentioned. So do we get now? So it's one of those things that they use as a now. What are you saying about that? Now, when people now responded to them that it's during those time statues and other things were permitted, they said no. They now brought evidence. They said the prophets have already caused. Don't you see the ideas of Habibani and Salama? That prophet said that those people of old, when this thing die, what will they do? They will make an image of the person and they will be worshiping it. How will not? I didn't know aware that time. So that was the response they gave, that it is only when that thing becomes something they are using to worship, that is when it will become what? Haram. So do you get now? Okay. Hadith. So inshallah we suspend for salat. When we return back, we continue for them. We allow accept it as an act of ibadah. Wow, sound of wow. Adúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run ọba tí ó ṣe wípé ó dá wa, ó tún ṣe wá bó ṣe fẹ́. Kí Ọlọ́run ọba kí àánú rẹ̀ kí ó máa rọ̀ lé wa lórí títí di ọjọ́ gbèrè àti àwọn. Amen. Inshallah, we continue from where we stop, like what we said, that the view of those who said that they never see anything wrong with any picture whatsoever, or any image, crowns, engraved, molds, and what can you call it, films, photos, selfie, everything, so. And another they use is the hadith of Abu Hurairah, that Abu Hurairah, he has a ring. In that ring there are Dubabatan on the ring. There are 2 housefly on that ring engraved on it, and that they are great Sahaba. Also Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, the same also is reported from him that he has a ring of such, which a rodent is engraved on it. So they said with all this, it shows that there is nothing wrong if the image is free from idolatry, and that is not to imitate Khaliqullah and to do ta'zim of anybody. If it's for good purpose, they don't see anything wrong in such. So those are those 2 unpopular views. 2 what? Unpopular views. So the first is any picture is what? Haram. 3 or no 3, anything, when the name taswir is put on it, is haram. The second is that for any picture, if it is free from haram and shirk, it is what? Permissible. So those 2 views are not celebrated what? Views. So we don't want us. So now to look at what the scholars of the Mazhab, what did they say? Our contemporary scholars, modern time, our scholars in the modern time, what did they say? So we want to hear that. Now they now take it one by one. The first they took is Mola Ruhalahu. The first they take is what? That means an image that there is no what, is not a one with soul, like a tree, like unilag, like what again? Street lights, car, motor, bus. So now, all the scholars, Jumhur, don't let me use all the scholars, but let me say what? The grand majority of the scholars, they agree that if a picture does not have a soul, an image have no soul, there is nothing wrong in drawing it, doing anything with it, producing such, because of the statement of Ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhu. He said, why had in Abbas, somebody came to Ibn Abbas and said, Ibn Abbas, me, I'm a sculptor. I'm a sculptor. He said, what can you see on it? Ibn Abbas now told him, I said, he said, that inna ashadda nas adaban yawm al-qiyamati al-musawwirun. That those that will be the severe most and will punish on judgment, they are the ones, picture makers. Allah will not tell them that, oh yeah, create this, make it to have life. They will not be able to do that. They will be punished. And I said, why have poor you? In abaita illa an tesna. But if you see still that you still want to be a sculptor, sculptor, sorry, that's the fuller. He said lan tasna fa alayka bi hadha shajar kull shay'in laysa fihi ruh. So Ibn Abbas said that. So you can be drawing what? You can be making sculpture of trees or anything that does not have what? Soul. He said in Kuntala, in another narration, another version, he said in Kuntala Buddha fa'ilan fasna shajara wa mola nafsalahu. That if you now still want to be a sculptor, you should what? You should do you should make trees and what does not have soul. So that is that. The second we want to look at is tamathilu ma lahu ruh. What do we call it? Tamathilu ma lahu ruh. That, or we can use another term for it. We can say mujassama. Do we get now? Those ones that have shape, that have body, but they are those ones with soul. They are those ones with what? Souls. So those ones, what does Islam say? The view of the majority that ofele the ijma. Do we get now? Like we said, 99% of the scholars of Islam, they all know that it is haram. And that is what we should owe to. Sculptor, talent, tí o bá ní talent sculptor, talent èṣù ni o. Talent kí mo gbé? Talent èṣù. So àwọn talent mi ni, mo lè ṣe sculptor nísìn láàrin 3 minutes. Màá sáré mú statue David Macron wá àti Muhammadu Buhari for 5 minutes. Ẹ pọ̀ pọ́n àwọn àmọ̀ yẹn síbẹ̀ yẹn sìn, màá sáré ṣe. Is not permissible because they say we have mentioned all those narrations, Abi. We have mentioned. I don't want to repeat those narrations. Now to see what is the reason why Islam says it is haram. The first thing is they say because those tamasil that we are seeing, they say min wasa'il shirik. Mean what? They are one of the means which people commit shirik. And if you know the story of Prophet Noah, how shirk started in the history of the world. It started during the time of Prophet Noah. وَقَالُوا لَا تَذَرُنَّ what? وَدًّا وَلَا what? سُوَاعًا وَلَا يَغُوثُ وَيَعُوقَ وَنَصْرَ. Those people in those verses that we mentioned, they are pious people. They made their tamasil and start to okay, so that we continue to remember them. But what the Shaitan did for them, he inspired them that they should later worship them after generations passed. You can check the story in Ibn Kathir. Ibn Abbas narrated how it happened. So nǹkan tó máa ń bí wọn òun ni kíni tó bá ti mọ èrè wọn. That's why Islam go against it. Not say that's why you cannot see the words. Imagine if the statue of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had been existing. Don't you think that some fanatical Muslims have been worshiping it? Yes, now. That's why Islam go against. Maybe say one scholar is there, while I'm a scholar, Islam is free from it. Because there are some verses even in the Bible that go against such, but people still do it. So they say one of the core reasons was himayatu tawhid, to protect tawhid itself, the oneness of Allah. So that's one of the reasons that it is not permitted. Another is that it also involves waste of money on things that are not. Go and check sculpture you see of those great men. There's one that they àwọn abọ́ de ṣe ń gbà yẹn tó ṣe fáwọn Abiola. Do you know how much they spent? Millions. That if they have shared for everybody here, at least for the end of this year, continue to pray for them. You just waste it away. Do we get now? So that is that. Now, I don't want to take time on that. There are now exceptions to this. There are now exceptions to what? What do we say? We said Islam said it is what? Haram to what? To make statue. We now have exceptions. The first exception is that if the statue head is not there. The first exception is what? If the statue head is not what? There. It will be permissible. Why do we say that? Because of that hadith of Jubril, I say you should remember. Shey I remember this here. Kill this here. Only for cool be what? Be cut in your ras what? Tamothil. Ní pé kó gé orí kíni? Kó gé orí kíni? Statue yẹn. ó ní fayesiru kawos kashajaroti, ó máa dàbí kíni igi. So if the head is not there, it is permissible. Another is that what? If another which is also permissible is if that thing is something that is small. The small we are meaning is a doll. We mean a what? A doll. Dolls are permissible. Like dolls now mo kekere ma fi ṣeré yẹn. You know dolls now? Dolly, all those dolly baby.
Barbie doll.
Táwọn ọmọ kékeré máa fi ń ṣeré náà. Àbí okay, it's dumb, it's not dolls. Na DOLLS, it's not dolls ni. Kí ló ṣe ìwọ̀n Unilag? It's dolls though. Àbí it's not dolls. Dolls don't mean all those. So those one are permissible. Those one are what? Permissible due to the hadith of who? Hadith of Aisha. The hadith of who? Aisha. So we should know, maybe you want to buy this, you can buy doll for your sister. Say, uncle, buy doll for me. No, Aisha to have dolls. And we have narration on that. We have a hadith. I think I will get this somewhere. Now, okay. Okay. If you don't see that, don't worry, Sha. Now, the hadith of that Aisha was that it is two. The first one is that he said when he got married to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he said he has some dolls, that those are she always play with it, and some children too will come. No children like that, they come and play with her also. That when the Prophet arrived sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those one because of shyness, they will what? They will go and hide. So the Prophet now tell them to come and play with Aisha. So they will play, and they will play with those dolls. So that's first narration. In another narration, Aisha said when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam returned from the battle of Tabuk, or the narrator said, or the battle of Khaybar, that one sure, but this is Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. Now that the Prophet now got to his door, there was now a breeze. The Prophet now saw some words, some doors. Now said, Aisha, what is this? Say their doors. Say who wants to say it's my own. And I said, look at that one. That's us. This is us now. He's having wings in it. The Prophet asked Aisha that when she ye, oh, you pony and she any ye, why would she tell she ye? Oh, now, Anobi. She will one point she's like, one on ye. Say husband and wife, it's a lesson for you. Husband and wife, you what? You joke. It's not a first of marriage. You do Romeo and Juliet. You go to this, you go to that. After some time, mo busy ni. Kilo dey. No time to joke, no joking. Say how serious go. Very strict, very strict. And brother, I know them and schedule. Very strict. Don't laugh, you don't do anything, don't joke with. Women easily get bored. Now you play with them. And that, let me tell you something. Hey, you must have something you must always repeat in your house. Should I tell you that? I love you. It's a secret. Yes, now you are not too young. How old are you? Yes, she be thinking married now. Yeah? So she say it a lot. Do you get now? So, it's part of Sunnah. It's part of what? Sunnah that you should be romantic to your wife. Oh, I'm not saying now, no. You keep it. MashaAllah. So you can see Aisha and who? And Prophet. They make all sáré wọ́n ṣoríṣiríṣi. Ó la Aisha lọ́jọ́. Ànábì Aisha la ànábì gbà kan ànábì. Okay. And that the Prophet say jẹ́ ká tún sáré. Ànábì ti rí bó ti tó ó ti sanra. Sense. They now ran. Prophet answered to Aisha dem wọ́n pé ànábì kaskọ́sì wá ó ti tẹ́lẹ̀. What did I say? Said that's why you want me mo ti win ẹ̀ padà so ti di 1-1. Ìwọ àti ìyàwó òṣèré rí. So it's not this thing. So say kí ló fẹ́ fún àyàn máa bá mi ṣe kíní. Àwùlẹ̀ bá ṣeré jù sí wọn àwùlẹ̀ ó ti pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ mi wo. Káwọn máa bèèrè owó sí ò lọ lọ́wọ́ mi. Tí bá fowó ọbẹ̀ lá ní ṣe bí mo gbóhùn lọ sí fast food mo gbóhùn lọ domino mo lè fowó ọbẹ̀ lẹ̀. Women, you know women, they are mountain when they attack you. So, but you must always joke. Now, so that is that. The second is the question people do ask today, that can we be a robotic engineer? Can we be a what? Robotic engineer. Oh, nobody want to go and say robotic engineer. Iṣẹ́ no lo fẹ́ lo ṣe. Má ṣe o. We not say that. You know why we not say that? Because the first robot that was built in this world was built by a Muslim. What did I say? The first robot that was built in this world was built by a Muslim. The name of the person is Ismail Al-Jazari. What do I call his name? Ismail Al-Jazari. There are also some people who are contemporary, they don't compete. They call them the Musa brothers. After that time, the Greeks started coming. They were competing with the Greeks. Because during those times were the time of the Genghis. They were ruling. After their fall, Salahuddin Al-Ayyubi also used him a lot. Because you know why we are saying all this? Many people don't know many things. And it's unfortunate. The science you are seeing and technology, the Muslims are the foremost. It will be very wrong of me that you are a student like this with fresh talents, and I will not tell you robot is haram. Why? What is now Islam all about? When he built a peacock, somebody now, the king of the gang, he said, it is stressful for me to go out to do ablution. I have a lot of people. Can you make a robot from that? Come and meet me. I'll do ablution and go back again. And he made it for him. He made a peacock for him. Ó meet one, ó ṣe bí àgé fún. Ó máa tún yẹn máa tún rìn lọ. Akin fáwọn èèyàn. Ajókòó síbẹ̀. Ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn ọba àgbà yẹn jayé gan. Are we getting now? So, when they now asked Sheikh Wahab Az-Zuhaili, what did he say? He said that yes, if that we look at that robot, what do you want to use it to do? Number one, that will not make it to be haram is that it is something that is motion, so it's not picture again. It is something that is what? Is emotion, so you can't say it's taswir. That is one. The second thing is that the person that will make it, that's why you need Muslims there. They should try to distort the image. They should try to what? Distort the image. Maybe be an obi face here. It will not have all these things complete, like oju imu komakwe. So when some of those things are distorted, but the main function, you should do this and other that, it should be there. We are good to go. And one of those things I will tell you is that, especially those of you that you are doing engineering, please, the Muslims are backward in what? Science and what? Technology. In all aspects, production, warfare, maintenance, anything. And one of those things that causes the issue of harmony is not so. When those things are distorted, you can use them. So because we need those things to propagate Islam. Many of those things the Muslims are doing, they are imported. They are what? Our clothes is imported. Compass to find Qibla is imported. Jalabia are imported. Everything imported. Toothpick imported. Pencil imported. Look at all those things that are being imported into any Islamic countries. How many of them are being brought from what? Islamic countries to another Islamic countries? There are very, very few. Islam does not go against our intellect. So must help Muslims who are foremost in that. So, but those one will be what? Adjusted. Do you get now? Another thing that is also exempted is cartoon, because they are for children. Because they are what? They are for children. So all those one like that, we look at what is the goal we want to use them for. So the ruling for that is lili wasail hukmul what? Maqasid. So the means wasail, the means will be what? Determined by the what? Maqasid, what is being intended for kilabeb shape. So if those cartoons, that's why when a scholar was talking about it, he now said that that is why it is very important. They base it on the qiyas of doors, that since doors are permissible, those cartoons too will be permissible because they are for children. So we should have cartoons that are Islamic based. I commended this station on what's the name of this? No, not Ikra. This one I dey like collect money for Palestinians like this. Islamic channel now. There's one guy there, very sweet mouse. That station is very good. There are some production they will make on cartoons. So people will learn about the history of Islam for children. They are very good. We need many of those things to teach morals, and those children will learn. It's not those ones that they will learn that Ikaloma Lebi Tom and Jerry. Do you know what the message is going to pass to them? About wọn mi bẹ́ẹ̀ tó pé ó máa bàkídà wọn jẹ́, and their children. Or all those Japanese this thing. Àwọn míì nínú ìgbà tẹ́wọ́ university lè ṣe bọ́nú ẹ̀. Ó kàn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni. Allahu Akbar. It's only about fighting and Naruto, Papato, Toronto. So we should have cartoonists, Sunnis, Islamic cartoonists. It's very, very important. It will be a great injustice for me to tell you those things are haram when they have basis. And they are things of the modern time. They are great musoli in them. So the Muslim, we must wake up, especially with the youth. We must wake up. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it an easy one. I mean, so we want to leave that. The next thing we want to move on to is Mawlahu ruhun ghayru mujassama. What do we call it? So what have soul, but it is not bodily. It is not what? Bodily. What do you think we fall into that? Oh yeah, now what do you think we fall into that? Like drawings, abi, engravements. I'm still coming to photography and others this one, like paintings and some other things like that. So those are those things that we want to look at now, like drawing, painting, accident. What again? Those one that you shall see on flat surface. I'm not talking of the one that is readily available, like I have, like you snap picture now. See, note me, don't get confused. I'm not saying that a picture now that is color print in your common so. It's a wall of shade. Yadawiya. Do you get now? Like what? Paint on something that is flat, yeah? Painting, engraving, something like that. So what can we say on that? Now, what is Islamic ruling on such? The first one is that the scholars have different views on it. The prevalent view among them, with the Shafi'iyya, the Hanabila, and the words Hanafiya, they hold to, is that it is haram because it's also taswir, and that the Prophet have talked about it with the hadith we have quoted before, so they are also included in it, and there is no exception. So that is their view. So they explain that. Now, another which they also say, because there is no difference between this and that. Can't we see that when the Prophet ﷺ saw those curtain on that this thing of Aisha, it's on flat surface now, abi now, and the Prophet says he should remove it, or you use the word tamasil for it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So to them it is haram. To those three schools. Now, which school of thought have I not mentioned? The Malikiya. The Malikiya now said that it is what? That to them it is not haram, but it is makruh. It is what? Makruh. You can see. No, let's say it's permissible. So this one say it is what? Makruh. Now, what did they said why they will not say it is haram? They said because of the following reason. They said first one is I'm going to do those one very fast. The first is this of Abu Talha, which I've quoted before, that Zayd will call it Al-Juni, that when he came to Abu Talha, he now told him that what the Prophet hold not permissible is that he said, La tadkhulu al-malaikata baytan fihi suratun illa rukman fi thawbin. Illa what? rukman fi thawbin. You know, if something is on the cloth, that means on the flat surface. So that's what the prophet was permitted. So that is one. Another one is that what? That I said, they quoted the hadith that said, the prophet said, Waman Islaam, Talusha Bosidulo, Mimman Zahaba, Yekuluku Kolikon Kakoliki. In hadith could see that Allah said that, who is the most wrongful than the person who created what I have created? Start creating what I have created. Faliyekuluku Zurro. Let him come and create an atom. Waliyekuluku Habbatan. Let him come and create a seed of something. Go out and create it. So they now said that, look at what they now said. They say it's an evidence for them. They say, Inna Allah Ta'ala lam yakuluk azil ahyau satuhan, that Allah did not create those things on flat surface. That but iktara'a mujassamatan. When Allah created those things, He created them with body. So if it's on flat surface, it's different. So do we get now? So I hope you are following me, sha. The third evidence they brought is that they said that in the house of the Prophet himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that there were surah that were used on wisad that one, on pillows. And if something is on pillows, on what? Flat surface. So that's why they can't say it's haram. So why can't we produce such if it is needed? That's when we say it is permissible. So that is that. The fourth they brought was that what they said that, okay, let me summarize the rest. Is that after the time of when the Salaf from the Sahaba downward, like Umar radiallahu anhu, Muawiyah and all of them, when they started striking coins, they strike coins with the words, the way of the words of the Persians, and there were pictures on those coins. They were spent in the land of the Muslims too. So they gave the example of that narration we said about what? Prophet what? Daniel. The ring is now. That he also has a ring that has what? Something on it. Abu Hurairah too has a ring that has Babatan. That those things are engraved, they are on flat surface. That so to them, instead of them saying haram, they will say what? It is what? It is makuruhu. So that view is the view of the words Malikiyya. Is the view of the what? But the view of the Jumhur is that what? It is haram. So those are now those things. This now, all of them now have exceptions. The scholars now came with what? Exception. Let's listen to the exception. They said as-suratu al-mumtahana. As-suratu al-mumtahanatu jahizatun. Look at one of those things. We are talking on issue of flat something now. That if a surah, a picture have been debased, that means it is permissible. What not debased? For instance, they said, look at what they said. I will explain what I mean by debased now. Let me quote two persons. I'll quote Ikrima. Ikrima said that, he said that Mawuti'at alayhi bil akdam. Àwọn kan tó wẹ́ pé wọ́n máa ń fi ẹsẹ̀ tẹ̀ wọ́n, wọ́n máa fi kí ni ẹsẹ̀ tẹ̀ wọ́n. Nípa àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, they are permissible. How yatakiu alayhi. Èèyàn lè ṣe kí ni? Ó lè rest ilé wọn. Bóyá ń sin pílò ni, ìgbàtàwọ̀ àwọn pílò kéèsì yẹn, a rí orí kìíní bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹsẹ̀ kí lórúkọ àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. So we now saw something like that there is nothing wrong. Because those surah have been what? Debased. So they are debased pictures. Another is that maybe the body is not complete. The head have been cut off, some other things like that. That there's nothing wrong in what? In that. Please, do we get that meaning of the debased? Or for instance, maybe where they are putting the pot and this thing, the cloth that was spread there, there are pictures on. You can put your gbogbo àwọn sisters nínú hostel lè gbọ́bẹ̀ wá sí lórí, or our pillowcase was going to sleep on, or aṣọ yẹn fẹ́ máa fi nu kìnnì àbíbí towel tàbí fi nu ra. Do you get now? So he said illa monusiba, except what is erected. What is what? Erected. Because that is that the prophet talked to Aisha that she should go and cut it to pillow. That thing was what before? Erected. They said because what is debased, people cannot worship it. But what is erected can be what? Can be worshipped. Because those who want to worship, with pictures and other things, they will make it to be what? Erected. So that's why the scholar gave exception. They now differ on something, on those debased picture. What did they differ on? They differ on if it is the head in cup. You know, they all said that if the head is away, they agree. Now, the other school of thought, except the Hanabila, they said that if the picture too are part of the debasement, the body is not complete. For instance, the part that was removed there is a part that if that thing exists in itself, it cannot exist with such thing. If such thing is missing in the body of such, it will not what? That thing can exist. For instance, let's say for instance the head is cut away. What will happen? The thing with such thing with that. I mean, when we see it, if be by here, if be ayayan, osekini, it is what? It is not there. Like our money. You know that if those parts is not, you know, you see our money now. So that is an example of a debased picture too. Are we getting now? Or example is that like the passports, they are debased because the main part, so the view of the Jumhur is that permissible. But the Hanabila said no, that the main issue in picture of this one that is listed is the head. And if that head is there, that is the picture. And they quoted what Ibn Abbas said, radiallahu anhu, that he said that as-suratu ar-ra'su, the surah, the words, the picture is the head. And when the head is cut off, there's no picture. So that is their words. So that's the stand of the Hanabila. But the view of the Jumhur is that if a part of the view of the Jumhur, that majority of the scholars, is that if that part that is what? That make it alive is not there. That means it can also be, is also part of what? Mumtahan also. Do we get that now? Now. So that is that on Molahu Ruhum Goy what? Mujassama. So those are the exceptions they have on it. Walala. Now the next one is on photograph. On what now? Photograph. Now, this is the issue that the main issue we want to look at today because it's the most common. So I will use it with photograph, picture, video, what again? Filming, everything together. Now, the first thing I will say is this. What is the history of photograph? According to research and everything, we discovered that photograph started in 1838. 18 what? Shanobishi wa lying by. Rara. Do we get now? It's one of those things we must note. So that what people hold the picture as around tele, one day understand that one. Now, when photograph came in, the next thing is what should be the ruling. So it's the modern scholar, it's the issue of the modern scholar. Kò ṣe issue àwọn salaf. Kò ṣe issue àwọn kíni. Ẹni tó bá ní issue àwọn salaf ni wallahi ó tó ẹ̀jẹ̀. Mo tún pé wallahi sí. Mo sọ authoritatively mo tó ẹ̀jẹ̀. How we say salaf? Ṣé salaf we photograph really? It's the issue of the modern scholars. And such issue like that. Now when the issue come up, wọ́n debate. Wọ́n ṣe kíni? Wọ́n debate pé kí ni issue yìí? This thing is not surah. Is this the same picture that we say is haram? Like what the Nasu have already said. Why the other said no? It is different. Wọ́n kò jọ share orúkọ ni. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí Sayaro tó wà ní Suratu Yusuf. That Allah use Sayaro there. Our moving castle, we also call it what? Sayaro. Are they the same? So the scholars, so is an issue of qiyas. And when issue come and is issue of qiyas, it is bound to have what? Differences of opinion. It is bound to have what? Differences of what? Opinion. This is what many, I will continue to repeat it. This is what many brothers don't understand. You claim you are the Sunnah and Jama'ah. You don't know about differences of opinion. Wallahi jàmbá ló ṣe fún ẹ̀mí ààrẹ. Kí ni mo náà ṣe fún ẹ̀mí ààrẹ? Jàmbá ni. Àwọn àfáà àgbẹ̀ àwọn àfáà aṣáájú. When one of those things that they used to know that this is a great scholar is how fast are you in differences of opinion? How fast are you in issue of what? Differences of opinion. If you are a student of knowledge one of your major food, oúnjẹ gangan, differences of opinion is what? If you tell a student now, because the person who taught him is also an extremist, you say that you are hiding under differences of opinion. Tó bá sọ lọ́dọ̀ àwọn sára wọn máa gbá ẹnu ẹ̀. That is why they were able to cope with themselves. An issue that caused issue among you today, they did not have issue then. So the issue of picture, photograph, selfie with your phone will be subjected to differences, although I'm very often in the nearest future, the same way video was dragged, that is where it will end to. Television, when TV also arrived, we also like I say it is what? Haram. You can still see their party on Facebook, but you see their video on YouTube now. Yes, now you will still see their party and Google it walai. You see this party, they say it's haram, but go to YouTube, you still be seeing their videos, because reality came upon them. Reality what came? They see that haram will not be bad. But what did they end it with? That liliwasai hukmul maqasid, kí la fẹ́ bí ṣe òun ló máa determine ṣé a máa pè ní halal àbí a máa pè ní kíni haram. So let us see one of those things they have said. Those who said it is haram, we have great scholars there, that are respected scholars. One of them is our great Sheikh Nasruddin Albani. Do we get now? We also have Sheikh Salih Al Fawzan. We also have Atuwejiri. So when you go to places like Islamic QA, those of you who visited Islam QA, what is it called? Islam Corps, you are going to see those things. That is not the end of Islam. That place is not the end of Islam for you. It's a part, effort in your part, and that is the field your part hold to. Do you get now? Àfáà yẹn làwọn kan bú lẹ́ni tó náà wọn súnà jùlọ. Àwọn ọmọ fìtínà. So don't ever be like that. Do you get now? So that is the view. And what did they basically say? Those na hadiths that the prophet have taught on surah. That surah is the same thing both in urf, in culture, in tradition, in the Arabic usage, and also in Islam. It's still the same picture we are seeing now. Those photographs. There's no difference. So those things we have said, this is it is around with it. It's also around with it on that also. So that is their stand. He said this is because he said those who said there is no photo that they are not producing. He said, why will you say you are not doing that? You bring a camera, you set it well, you capture something, you produce it and bring it out, and you said what make you different from any other person, what they have done. So we should not say that. Go and see the photo of Sheikh Nasruddin Albani. Do we get now? So that's their stand. The second stand and the view of is also view of the modern scholars, and they are in the majority. And they are in the what? Majority. What did they say? They said photograph is permissible. They said because of the following reason. They said number one is that one of the illa of this thing is that people will imitate the creation of Allah. That photograph is not so. That the image is has already been fashioned by the fashioner, which is Allah. But what you are just doing is that what? You are capturing that image. You are what? See one of the example one of the scholars brought, those who support it, and we will still mention their name. They said that, look at what they said. They said it's like, for instance, this Afar writes, he wrote something. This Afar what? Wrote something. And I did photocopy of it, or I snap what he have written. His name is there, everybody knows he's the one that wrote it. And I snap it, and I show you. And you are aware that he's the one that wrote it. And I claim I'm the one that have it. I'm the one that make it. What will you think? You know it's the one that, who make it? It's still the person. What did I just do? I capture what the person have written. So that is how it is, that Allah have created those things that is not, you are just capturing it. That is one. The second thing they said is that what? They said everybody agree. Those who say it is photograph is around, they also agree that when you stand like this in front of a mirror, it is permissible in Islam. If you have to say, that you stand like this and you are going to see what? Yourself. Is that not the same thing this thing is doing? When you go to a river, you stand, you are going to see your what? Your face. That what makes that different, that as in the picture of photograph, different from that is that what? The picture of photograph is permanent, while that one is what? Temporary, because when you live there, it will live. But that one, we hold it for you that permanent, we make it to be permanent. So what's now the difference? Are we getting now? You can see that they have very good arguments. That another thing which they also said is that many of those who are saying that picture is haram, some of them say video is permissible. Photograph is haram, but video is what? Permissible. The difference between a video, a television something, I mean a video, the difference between it and what? And picture is what? Is motion. That if you press pause, a video like this, what's in the picture? What's in what happening here? That means to what you go to pause him. Because to what the pause, what's in the key here? What's in the picture here? We are seeing what we do on YouTube. What are the pause? What's in the picture? Because what's in the picture? My lord here. So that's what they say. So the scholar on it, they are very much. One of them, Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qaradawi. We also have Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen. We have Abdurrahman Abdul Khalik. These two Sheikh I've mentioned, they are Sheikh of the Salafists. Because Salafists don't celebrate pictures. I need to mention it out. Another is Sheikh Wahab Az-Zuhaili. Sheikh Rashid Rida is also a Salafi Sheikh too. We have Al-Mutawali Ash-Sha'rawi. Sheikh Ramadan Al-Buti has been killed now. He was killed in Syria when they started war. Muhammad bin Ali Sayyid, we also have Abdul Wahab Abdul Salam. They are very much. In fact, all the major lajina like Ayati, Fatawa, Kuwaitiya, Misriya, all those places like that. Don't limit yourself to Saudi fatwa alone. Check other scholar in other country school. The Islamic, what did they say? All of them say it is permissible. It's just modern time. You can't take all this away now. Time have gone far. Do we get now? Now, the next issue now is this, which we have discussed. So the issue will be subjected to differences of opinion. Now, the following things are now wrong. Number one is that if somebody holds a contrary opinion, leave the person, the picture is permissible. You now believe that the person is lax in the deen. That means it is you yourself that don't understand the deen. The same thing goes to if somebody said to me, oh, my stand is that what? Picture is what? Haram. Without blaming the other side, like the way the Salaf do when they have differences of such. You don't have the right to say, okay, then you have picture, so that's how it will be. It's not issue that we now fight on. Koyani. Do we guess now? So that is that. Another thing we should now note is that all the scholars that talk on photograph being permissible, they said a lot of things which want us to look at. Number one is that they say what are that this photograph we are saying, there will be time that it will be wajib for us to what? To snap it. Wajib. It is what? Why? If you don't take it, you become what? You become a sinner. For instance, if it is what is very, very important, it involves issue of crime. It involves issue of what? Crime. And the issue must be exposed. It's a very hot issue. You must take picture. Number two, when it will be mustahab. When it will be what? Mustahab, that we want it. For instance, for learning. And what you want to learn about it to increase what's in the deen. Do we guess now? It will be mustahab. The third one, when it is mubah. When it is what? Mubah. For instance, I want to take selfie. And we want to keep records. I finish school. Like, see what happened to the Numilai. They say, Onipo Jade school. Picture NYC, that picture to Mjade Nuroni, mu picture biwa, Ohimi Muwa. The case was dragged. Or one of those things we learned recently that it happened to a scholar. It happened Some of us have the issue like that. Their first said he has done nikah. One of those things they ask him in police station. Police station, halal. They deal with the society. That's one of the reasons a Muslim must think about. You don't limit yourself to try alone. Islam wants us to look what are the society is saying. They say, where is your evidence that I have done this? Everyone picture. Put a day on. Picture remule or drag it. Alhamdulillah, the case have been settled now. So it's a lesson. You keep records. You keep what? Records. So you have those things. Now, all those things that are now mubah, we should now know something. When a Muslim is growing, as in the iman of a Muslim is growing, ibi tí wàhálà ti máa ń wà, òun ni lára ẹni. When Ibn Qayyim was listing it, that if Shaitan cannot take you with shirk, you move to the next thing, and that is what? Kaba'ir. That if you cannot take you Kaba'ir, you move to what? Sogoir. If you escape Sogoir are small sins, you move to what? Utuku Makruhat. If you cannot take in what is disliked, you now engage in what? With Iksarul Mubahat or Kathratul what? Mubahat. Things that are what? They are permissible, but will not make you to be doing them so much. Then we have picture fanatics. I have once, I don't do something, I hardly check status. You know the reason? Because I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. People are losing their haya. You see a sister, every time you be snapping your picture, what's your problem? I get irritated. What's your problem? It's a me and kini kan, gbogbo picture mi to tell me mi gun pẹ̀lú àwọn ọkùnrin ni. Wallahi. Kò no fo ko Ọlọ́run o. Boy ma rí ó lè jẹ́ yẹn ma rí yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀. Èṣù máa lù ẹ́. Wallahi, èṣù máa lù ẹ́. Let me be frank with you. Èṣù máa lù ẹ́. Ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Àbí a fẹ́ ya picture, ká máa ṣe bí àwọn kèfèrí. Tó bá fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan. When we take picture, yes, we keep it, we have our intention. It's not that, not like this. I saw sisters doing this. A sister, I will not share, with hijab, báwo la bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n yẹn. Sister with hijab, wọ́n náà ṣe báyìí. When do you start all those nonsense? Say, oh, this swag. Oh, one, they will like, what's the meaning? I was one, he said, you don't say it well. He's telling daddy, you don't say it well. You don't say it well. Let me show you, daddy. Over show daddy. I was like, what is all this nonsense? It's not our this thing. Look at scholars when they take pictures. We have scholars of Islam now. If you know what's funny, many of the scholars they are saying that picture is not permissible. We have their picture, wallahi. Wallahi, we have their pictures. See, it's not picture of accidental picture. We don't lecture here. Picture pe panorama session like káwọn èèyàn tó láyàn fẹ́ ya picture sí kọ́ arrange wọn president wà láàrin anybody wà bad anybody wà bí you know now pictures like that. Àfáà tó ya picture pẹ̀lú Paul Pogba is it under duress? When he did Hajj, when he did what? Hajj, took picture with him. Is that under duress? Yes, go. Do you guess now? For whether I will give him under duress, something like that will now give me pressure to do it. But because things are what? It will surely be. In the next 20 or 30 years, you will see that this issue of picture, they will become irrelevant. I'm very sure. The same thing happened to videos. It will happen to it. But there's no issue. That is Islam. That's how beautiful it is. Ikhtilaf is our food. If it has what? Basis. Do you get? But what we want us to emulate is táwọn àfáà ẹ̀sìn wa yẹn tó máa ń ya picture. Báwo ló ṣe máa ń ṣe? Ṣé àwọn náà ṣe báyìí? There are scholars now. Have you seen them that they do like this? You not see them such. They don't do that. Do we get now? So these are those who want us to emulate. These are those who want us to what? Emulate. Another is Islam does not support you making up. You now make up voluptuously. Sure, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me tell you one story. It was a student of our mother that told me. He said somebody make up one day. He used face lock for his phone. Ó wá make up débi pé ó ti lock phone rẹ̀ ọjọ́ nìkan ẹ̀ ni o. Ó wá gbé báyìí ó fẹ́ ṣí phone ẹ̀ wà lọ́jọ́ ìbò ní phone ẹ̀ ṣí títí dalẹ́. Because phone gan ò tún dá mọ́ mọ́. Phone gan ò ṣe kí ni mọ́? Phone ò dá mọ́ mọ́. Kí ló dé? Do we get now? So Islam don't. Now the person will now stop in that fitna. He will now snap it and put it on what? This thing. You know what's now for what I'm concerned most? Some of you will now be sharing such. You are sharing fitna. The thing is already haram. You are not sharing it. You know what's the evil of it? Look at what Imam Ghazali said. He said when you continue to stare at what is haram, Shaitan will continue to make your heart to love you so much that not mubal, what is haram? When you continue to stare on it, you continue to look at it every time wọ́n wò tó bá yà kò ní jọ ẹ́ lójúmọ́ ó máa di nǹkan tó yẹ pé kò ní ní issue lọ́kàn ẹ̀ mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tó bá ti wá jẹ́ haram ó ní máa ní issue pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ mọ́ ó máa ń wọ́n ẹ pé ìwọ náà fẹ́ máa ṣe. And your mind will continue to get what? To get weaker. Now I want to ask you a question. What Imam Ghazali said, don't you think is very correct? Why many of us having problem with our spirituality? If not for the fitna of this. That's why I said before that those scholars who said picture is haram is one of those reasons they bought. They say it's because it's sadness zaria. It's a means to block a fitna that we are seeing. They are very correct. Let me tell you on fitna to my be. We have seen somebody that only then go one ọjọ́ ya picture private part. Ọjọ́ kan wá ṣe mistake. Kò wá mọ̀ bórí group ló ń lọ send ẹ̀ sí. Ẹni ló fẹ́ send ẹ̀ sí. Sincerely, as the person committed suicide. And how you go picture on YouTube. You know what I will advise you? Take your phone. Àwọn picture olówó and bed. If nobody sees you, Allah who created you is seeing you. That's why nobody can touch your phone. We see. Ẹlòmíì máa wọ brother ni picture obìnrin nìkan ló wà lórí phone ẹ̀. Ìkìlọ̀ wọn bẹ̀ gallery mi lọ́wọ́ náà. So tó bá ti wá lálẹ́, òun ló máa fi ń keep pleasure. Táwọn àwọn èèyàn bá ń ṣe tìláwà, picture ló fi ń ṣe tìláwà. Wàhálà I'm not joking, wàhálà nǹkan tí mo sọ correct. Àwọn máa wò ó. None. The same thing with sisters too. One joke one check our brothers in job. This one is short too. I know sisters can describe. Well, when they describe your life for you, it is short. You will not say that I'm only February. I don't like short, but I can't marry. Because no, generally sisters are short now. Yeah, look at wow, so bad. Understand? They are not for you. It's one of the reasons personally I don't check status. I will check it for a reason. Personally, I don't check it. Due to there was a time I was so disappointed that I was sister to a company be a tell come and correct am. Fitna yẹn náà too engross wọn. Let me tell you, one of those ways I don't capture people most is through picture. Ṣé ti ṣe ló kíárì? Tẹ́lẹ̀ jọ ni máa sọ wípé picture lòun fi kó sí lára. So I'm advising us strongly. Let us look at that. It's too embarrassing the way people relate with pictures. It's too. You give it too much something. Anyhow. Even personally, I don't know. I don't see the reason you be snapping your food on Facebook. we look at this food. Do you know what you are doing? Let me just tell you something. Ẹlòmíì tó bá oúnjẹ tó máa ronú ẹ̀ náà. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ ni ronú sí nǹkan ẹ̀ ni? Kó mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣe. Bámbám ni mo yó, èmi ò mọ̀ bí ní pẹ̀mọ́ ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan ni. That's what you are doing indirectly. Some of you don't know. That's what you are doing now. I'm not saying what that is haram, but ẹ ká ronú sí dáadáa. Gbogbo ẹran léyà tó jẹ gbogbo ẹ̀ ló snap. Gbogbo ilé tó ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ ló snap. Gbogbo everything gbogbo ẹ̀. Kí ló dé? Ẹlòmíì bí mo snap gbogbo ẹ̀ gbogbo ó gbé gbogbo ilé yẹ̀ sí online. Everything ó gbé sí online all your life. You now say they now rob you. Báwo ló ṣe calculate mi? Àwọn ará ilé mi gbá bọ̀dé. You already put all your information online. Wọ́n gba ìyàwó mi. Ìyàwó mi beauty ọgbà wọ́n ṣe nígbà. Wọ́n polówó ìyàwó ẹ̀ fáwọn èèyàn. Where is the gear up? Where is the gear up? The jealousy. Where is it? Well, we need to think deeply. And people said that the Muslims are not those who emulate the bandwagon. What people do, they will just do it. That's why the scholars say, the Muslim is not a thermometer, but the Muslim is a thermostat. A thermometer will read what? The temperature what? The temperature of that time. If you put it there, the temperature here to read. But a thermostat will reset itself. It will adjust itself. And that's what the Muslim should do. Lastly is that pictures, one of those things can use to do dawah. Yes, for instance, you're a university graduate. I'm just giving an example. You're in Unilag. People will say, Unilag. You met some people, want to talk to them. Maybe you are in a school, you are calling them to Islam. Now said that. The person now feel humble that, okay, come. Let me snap it. To show friendship to the person is nothing wrong. We should think out of Kilabeshe. A Muslim think, go to buy Kilobefishe. Kó ṣe ní kan ya gini gbogbo fóònù ẹ̀ kó delete àwọn picture ilé mo lè yọ kíní kan gigabyte ni. Don't need those things. So may Allah help us, guide us and be with us and make our faith firm in Islam. So in short, in summary, if anything does not have rule, no soul, the scholars have no issue with it. If it has rule and that shape, they all agree that it is what? Haram, that it can have shadows. It has shape like area and Kokobe is haram. Except the head is what? Cut off or is adjusted. Or do you get? And doors generally, they are also what? Permissible. Doors are permissible generally. Doors, no matter this thing. So that is that. And cartoons too. And also if the robot is adjusted, we want us to move to robotic engineering. Also, if it's on a flat surface, the view of the majority is that this is what? Haram. Why do we have the Malikiya? They brought the evidence to why it is permissible. Do we get now? On something that is on a flat surface. They did not say it's permissible. This is what? Dislike. Now, all of them, they now brought exception on something that is on a flat surface. They said if it is debased, if it is what? Debased, it is permissible. I think I've explained that. Like something you are putting on, you are spreading it. It's not that it's erected. And some things that have been adjusted of it is not a normal this thing again. And the last is on photograph. The scholar differ on it, but the view of the jumhur of the modern scholar, because the view of the modern scholar is that what it is permissible and with caution, free from shirk, free from haram, and it should not be something we have fanatical words about, and should stay away from anything that is evil. So that's the Islam. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Very snappy. The first is what can we hang some of those pictures? Now I will start with this. If you go and check Sherry of Sahih Muslim on the hadith of La yadkhulul malaikatu baitan fi kalibun wala tasawwir. Another mention wala tamathil. And if you check Fathul Bari volume 10, that's where Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, when they did the Sharh, there are things you should note. That's why I appreciate the question of the brothers. The first, they let us to know that from what Ikrima has said is that Islaam or nusibat, as in something that is erected. One of those things erected is to what? To hang it. So that's why the scholars were saying that one of those one that will prevent the angels from entering is something that is like that, and one of these hadiths, but that of Aisha too. And when the prophet saw those things, because it's on the curtain, you can see it's erected to now, it's on the flat surface now. It's something that is visible and everybody can see. So the prophet complained on it. So that's why the scholars are saying that we should not hang what pictures, even those who permitted it that we can use photograph, that we should not hang it. So I think we are clear on that. Another thing is that what type of angel will not enter the house? It's good we should mention it. They said, according to what Imam Nawawi said in Sharh of Sahih Muslim, he said, Malaikatu Rahma, àwọn mọ̀láíkà aláàánú ni wọ́n ní wọlé yìí. Ilé wo ló ń sọ? Ilé tí nǹkan tó wà erected wà. Kò ń ṣe ìwé nóòtì àbí owó yìí bá picture wà ní owó yìí o. Ṣé mọ̀láíkà máa wọnú ilé wa yìí? Ó wá fi báyìí òkun ojú ẹ̀. Àbí ìwé fakọ́tì ẹ̀ tó ya tó fún ẹ tó ya fakọ́tì ẹ̀ kò sí. Àwọn yẹn ò ní kíní òkè ń bí nìkan lọ ni. Wọ́n ní kò ń ṣàwọn yẹn. Àbáwọn picture tó wà mumtahan orí bẹ́tí tẹ́ ó wà bí àwọn ní no kò ń ṣe wúyàn lọ sọ bá wọn kò tó wà erected because wọn ànábì complain pé torí wìsáàdà ànábì pílò ànábì picture ṣe kí ni ó wà bí àbí now so we should get that. The second is that irú kí wọ́n tẹ̀ wá erected irú àwọn mọ̀láíkà wo ni kò ń wọbẹ̀ ọ̀nà àwọn mọ̀láíkà tó ra mọ̀ bọ́ àwọn hafazotu àwọn mọ̀láíkà tó ń pè ní kí ni alhafazotu àwọn tàbá ti ṣe imọ́nù bìrì mọ̀láíkà bí a ti ṣe ní kí àbí nǹkan kan á máa mọ̀ nǹkan tí mi sọ àwọn mọ̀láíkà tó máa ń ṣọ́ àwọn èèyàn. No matter what the person is doing, naked, kinikan, anything, the angels will always be with him. The angels always what? Who are those angels we are talking about? Ali what? Hafazotu. Ìyẹn nípa àwọn angels tó ṣe kíni? Tó ṣe kíni? Tó ń ṣọ́yàn. Now, let me just say this for scholastic effort. Some of you may need it, is that we have some scholars that say that nígbà angel ò lè wọlé ayé ànábì nìkan ni ayé kí ló pé nìkan. If you check Fathul Bari, you see what they have said. However, I will not say that it's not a general be like Ibn Hibban and some others like that. That's what they have said. Wallah. So, but hanging pictures, púpọ̀ náà àfẹ́sí wọn ṣe kíni wọn faramọ́. Now the next thing, observing salat in a room where there is picture. The question is irú picture wo? Imbolowa. Do we get now? So if it is there, if as we have said before, if they are erected pictures, if they are what? Erected pictures, we will say that one should, if one have alternative, because the Prophet said that when he was talking about it, he said, Aisha remove, he said, amitiha mukuru mbe nítorí pé la yazalu ara'u fi salat. I continue to see it in my salat. In another narration, he said, it continues to remind me of the dunya. Are we getting now? So that is why the scholars are saying that if you picture when the picture in there, they say if it is something very small. One example wa taba won ko ti Ibn Daqiq sọ nínú Sharh Umdatul Ahkam ó ní pé ní sọ pé kíni pé tó bá pa àwọn small ni nítorí àwọn Abu Hurairah àwọn òrùka wọn wọ́n fi ń kírun àti Abu Musa al-Ash'ari àti Umran bin Hussein àti tó bá pa àwọn something so small and significant, no problem. But if it is something visible or erected, you should not do this thing. But the scholar generally they discourage that if it has making a picture and like the mat you want to use, we should be seeing pictures there. Who might distract. But jumu'ur of them, if there's not a picture on a cloth, let me go to that one now. A picture on a what? Cloth. See you le fi kírun. To ma fi kírun show nírun. Is an issue the scholar differ upon. My own stand is the stand of the Jumhur that said that the salat is valid, because we did not see a sahih evidence. What did I say? Sahih and sahih evidence. That means an evidence that is authentic and explicit that said that the salat is invalid. That is why Imam Bukhari in his Sahih Bukhari a wedding to fun ó ní pé as-surat al-tubtilu salati amla. That's what he just put there. That see picture show le ba irun jẹ́ or not. That's the majority of the scholars. Ibo ló máa gbé sínú ìwé fíkì wọn makruhatu salat. Ibi tó máa fi sí nìyẹn. Do we get now? So however, kí n kọ́ tiẹ̀ jẹ́ mọ́ kúrú ṣáà àwọn máa ṣeré díẹ̀ ni, so we should avoid it as much as possible. So if we have alternative, we should use it, but if we don't have, we should. But if it's on this thing, for instance, I want to pray now, this is my room, orí àwọn kíní ló wà, we pray there. Do you get now? Not that one erected. Now the next one is, I see people asking question on doors, big doors. See, if the rain, it remain doors, full body, eye, face, like he said, all the face, everything is there, nothing is wrong, because that hadith. See, some scholars try to beat down the hadith. Do you know what they said? They said it is mansukh, that it is mansukh. But when you say something is mansukh, you must give us dalil. We look at 3 things for anything that is mansukh. We look at tariq. We look at the nasu explanation. Is it from the Quran or Sunnah? What is the nasu? What is the date? What is the nasu that claimed is not this? We could not find any. In fact, we look at ta'akur again. The hadith, that hadith after ta'akur is muta'akhir, because the hadith mentioned Ghazwa to what? Tabuk. Ghazwa to Tabuk is a later battle the Prophet fought, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it will hold. That is, go and check Sherry of Fatul Bari. That's the most prominent Sherry of Sahih Bukhari. Go and see it. So when we say something is a doll, it is permissible. Full body, the horse, yes, full body. Otuwa stop, otuwa ni yemo. Otuwa ni kini mo? Otu ni yemo. Super horse for Superman. So do we get now? They are permissible. You see, if it's a teddy bear, giant teddy bear, yes. If it's giant teddy bear, it's for children. For what? It's not just one. That one you went over to Jẹun, you have 3 million. Now to that, now go and write his will that this teddy bear will give this boy man all those nonsense. It's not that what we are saying. But if you see teddy bear, it's for a child. To buy a Jẹun that toys and dolls, it is permissible.
She said for somebody like Uncle.
Now, sister, your wallet is too much. Now, the next one is time value of money. If it's àgbàlagbà kí lẹ̀ ń wá kiri, mọ̀ kọ́ tẹ́fẹ́ fowó rábì. Mo ní àwọn èèyàn tó ní ìdòwò ẹ̀kọ́ wà wàláì. They are in journey, some of them are in hospital. Now to go and buy giant dirty veil, bring it to your hostel. I'll see this from you. Now, the next one is time value of money. Yes, time value of money. Only if àwọn people were important. There's a veil called veil taxit. Time value of money is important in it. For instance, somebody want to buy this thing now. I can say, see, look at this. What's it called? Table water. It is 15 naira now. Or let me say 100 naira. Unilag factor. Unilag value of money. Okay, 100 naira. I agree. Okay, 100 naira table water. Somebody want to buy now and pay now. I say it's 100 naira. But you're not paying now. I'll sell it at 150. That is paying what takes it. And I said you can pay 10% now, pay 20% and pay the rest later. But I'll increase the value because of time value of money. Because if I owe, look at, for you who don't understand, if I owe 10 naira now, 10 naira, it can buy something now. In the next 2 years, in Kotora ni tí mo ra 10 naira mo lè má ríra mọ́. So I need to increase the price to compensate that. Do you get? But if it is something that is money to money, it is interest. So owó tí mo yá ń sin, ó mọ̀ pé time value of money. So ma fi gba 20% by ó máa di haram. Do you get now? But if it's on a good, do you get bail tax it, installment or something like that? Or àjọfẹ́ business kan. Don't let me go into business, but what your question is this. Now, the next is if pictures were allowed, diagram of Abi, what's this?
You have seen pictures of it.
You will have seen pictures of prophets in your show because àti fún aláwọn ànábì abẹ́ ìsínbẹ̀ ni tí mo sọ pé ànábì Daniel lion engravement tí wọ́n bẹ̀ àdís tó sọ yìí ni mo sọ yìí kò ṣe story tó wà ní kẹsì tí ò ní rìwáyà ó ní rìwáyà tó pé tí àwọn sọ̀hábà tó dẹ̀ confirm ẹ̀ wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ sí Abu Musa Ash'ari ó gba ríngì ó dìmú kí ló ń porúkọ ẹ̀ ó mọ̀ nígbà tó gbọ́ sọ ó ní ẹ lọ sí secret lẹ́mọ̀ ẹ̀ka àwọn èèyàn nítorí tó bá mọ ibi tó kú sí wọ́n lè fẹ́ máa kọ́ sọ sàárì ẹ̀ di mosque. Do you get now? So do we get? So in that picture we saw diagrams, picture engraved on it. So that if something if picture is permissible, we'll have seen pictures of what? Prophet. Ìyẹn wọ́n ṣe kíní. Ilé ànábì picture wà nílé ẹ̀. Òun la tún repeat it. Ìbádìí tó sọ yìí, ó ṣe wàhálà wẹ̀. Do we get now? But what we don't want is pictures of what? Living saints àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Do we get now? We have picture of dog, what's it called? This thing in the house of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do we get? And I think I have explained that I don't want to go back. We should get it or we listen to the audio. But because we don't, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or any pious people, picture wọn ṣe kọta máa tọ́jú. Àwọn ọmọ padà sí wọn ni. Wọ́n máa sí wọn ni. So that's the issue. Now, if somebody is advertising product like a caterer is excluded, me to always advertise my chicken. I'm selling Muntian chicken. Very, very. So do you get? So, how much? See me later. Now, so do we get? You can do all those ones as you are selling your product. I'm not. That's excluded. But somebody, you're just posting your food. You are threatening people. People are hungry in Nigeria. I don't know. If people are oh, they fire anyone you love very long. Lord be alone. So let us look into that. Now, now the next one. Somebody asked a question on birthday cake. Why? Okay, like if you are a caterer, can you make birthday cake for people? What I see nowadays is that I just observed something. I don't know. I observe that many people I know that I relate with, àwọn àfáà tí mo mọ̀, many of them are saying birthdays become permissible. I need to be frank with you. I don't know the reason. Even some of them that I know that these people are just maybe we went to Ileke together, we were able to, I just see them posting birthdays. I was like, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Wàhálà. So my own stand, let me use it that way. To me, birthday is not permissible because it has existed before the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Are we getting? Prophet Job, shebi you know Job now, no, Ayub. When he did this thing, according to what the Bible say, I'm not saying Quran o, that ọjọ́ tó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ de fún àwọn méjèèjì tó sọ̀rọ̀ about date of birth wọn, àwọn yẹn padà kú. It's all those things they will also bring to their this thing. Do we get now? To me personally, you may help from others, but me, I not agree with celebrating birthday because if it's not to bring later, you see, we have people are battling spirituality. They will get more lax. We are seeing, so I don't support it. So if I don't support it, I will not support what? Birthday cake. I know surely people will meet another person will give you fatwa on this thing. Do you get now? But generally, if something, eating it like oúnjẹ birthday, this to me is not haram, it's makruh because the food itself is permissible. But the event will make you to be what? It is like I can't use haram for such. When I've done usulu fiqh, ó lè o, èmi ò lè sọ. Àwọn àfáà mi lè sọ, but èmi ò lè sọ because oúnjẹ itself is what? Permissible. Event yẹn ló affected. Tèmi ṣe lè pè ní kí makruh. So if you based on that, you go and do birthday cake. That you are doing it, I can't say it is what? Haram. Because some scholars say that tó bẹ́ pé nǹkan kan wà téèyàn ti ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, àwọn engage like ó máa ń ṣe nǹkan yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀. Ìfẹ́ tí wàá jẹ́ kó gbé nǹkan yẹn fún kò ní. Let me give you an instance. For instance, somebody have been selling something. When it's now Christmas or New Year time, people will not need that thing. You now render that service to them. You will not say it is this thing. Because what ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀, wọ́n ṣe tó event yẹn ló ṣe gbé lẹ̀. Are you getting? So that's it. That's my own stand. When you ask me a question, I will tell you what I see. What you, what's it called? You want to take on, you can take on this. Wallahu a'lam. I've not gotten to the level of, I give you a straight verdict and go. I'm still up and coming. My knowledge is still very, very small. So, wallahu a'lam. Inshallah. So.